What's up, you guys? Godzilla Fan Freaks coming at you today with another figure review. And today we are looking at the Masters of the Universe Masterverse line, new Eternia Skeletor. Yes, if you do not know who or what this figure is, this is like a new Eternia version of Skeletor. I still have the box, so let me just get the figure right on out of the way. And show you guys a little nice close-up of the box. Here's what you were looking for. This is still the Masterverse line, but this is the new Eternia Skeletor. And boy, what a different type of Skeletor this is. You got some awesome side box art there. And then you have the back portrait, which I think looks quite outstanding for a Skeletor art piece. And something that is very different about this Skeletor is he has a green beard attached to that green skull of his. I thought that was a very interesting take on this Skeletor. And to be honest, it was very, very hard to choose, I want to say, what head sculpt I wanted on this Skeletor, because he does come with two different head sculpts, and he comes with some different hands, but I'm not going to get into all of that. I'm just going to go with the basic figure and what I have on him, and, we'll go over the different head sculpts, but that's about it. But still, a really, really cool illustration of Skeletor here. You got a nice little read-up. If you want to pause, you can read that now. And but I do like the take of the beard on this guy. I think it's just a very different look in general. The other head sculpt he has is the more classic type Skeletor head sculpt. But in all honesty, it was a very hard choice which head I wanted on this guy, because the other head sculpt, I'll tell you guys right now, is really, really good. So let's get the figure on back in here and let's talk about this guy for a minute. Let me get rid of his Havoc staff, since it really doesn't sit in his hand all that well, because it is very top heavy. If you can imagine, it is a very top heavy Havoc staff. So, first impressions, really, before we get on into paint, I like this Skeletor figure, but there are some things that I do not like about it. There are things like his armor piece here. It looks like it has these little tabs on in here that plug into something somewhere, but they don't. You can remove this other armor piece on him as well, but there's not even anything on his shoulders. You know, there's no plugs for these little tabs to go into, which you would think that there would be. There are none whatsoever on the armor or on the, shoulder sculpt itself of this guy. So that kind of just sits over his pre-existing armor like so, and it's a little wonky. It's really supposed to fit like that, so you kind of have the gem in the little U cradle there, but it's, as you can see, it's not the best. It doesn't fit the best, and I do like it. I do like the cape option, because it's a nice black cape. It's not a purple cape, so it's something different than we usually always get. Really, really cool. Go ahead and just get his Shimtar out of the way. So I do display him with the cape, but as far as the way that this goes on, it's very, very wonky, and it's very irritating to mess with, especially since my other con with this guy is getting him to stand is by far the easiest thing to do. Even if you tap this on him, you give him this very kind of top-heavy Havoc staff. Even if you have him choke up on the staff a lot, it's still very top-heavy, and this guy just does not... He doesn't have the best footing. He's very... and I don't know if that's maybe some of his joints are loose. As you can see, his little ab crunch here is very easy for me to, that is very loose. It is not stiff at all whatsoever. That is the only loose joint on him though. His legs are pretty stiff, ankles are pretty stiff. He just has a very hard time standing on his own. Even without his accessories and everything, as you guys can see there, he still kind of wants to like tilt backwards for whatever reason. So those are my only two cons, just kind of talking about this figure before we really get started. It's a great different Skeletor, and I'm happy to add it to the collection, but those couple of things are just, I don't know. I just don't like the way that this sits freely. It's very wonky, and he doesn't stand the best, especially when he has everything equipped on him. But without further ado, how about we get into paint applications? We're about 6 minutes in. Paint applications for Skeletor here. His skin, not really a very light blue. It is a light blue, but it also has like this grayish tone mixed in to where it's kind of, it's not as eye-catching. It's a darker light blue, if that makes sense. If anything, it actually kind of reminds me of the skin tone that's on the classics Skeletor. I should have brought him down for comparison, but won't worry about that right now. If you guys want to know what I'm talking about, go check out my review on the classics Skeletor. So, but his skin, very nice, you know, light blue still overall. His armor, all the way around, you got blacks, purples, all worked in there, looks very nice. Same thing with here on the helmet. I hope this lighting works, you guys, just because I do these figure reviews now after work in the evenings. I got to deal with my LED lights and my my fan light that I have in my collection room, so hopefully it's good. And it's very overcast and stormy outside right now, so I don't have the best natural lighting from my skylights, that is for sure. So hopefully this lighting works. But very nice blacks, purples, you know, pinks there for the gem, all mixed in. The skull itself, very nice greens as always, as those nice black and red eyes. That was really out of focus. Sorry, I was looking at the figure and not my camera feed. I haven't done a figure review in a while. I gotta get used to this. But this helmet is very pliable. It is not removable. So it is stuck on his head, but these pieces do kind of wrap around his face very nicely. You see the beard on in there. Looks very, very nice. Teeth nicely etched into the mold. All that good stuff. So that about does it for paint applications. No black on his nails. I might fix that in the future, especially on the feet. I don't necessarily like the feet being all one color, and these nails are prominent and big enough that I can dab them with some black, or my wife even mentioned she can add some shading to this guy to make some of these details stand a little bit more out, because he is very flat, you know, on his body and whatnot. So some sort of dry brushing or shading could really bring out some of these muscle details a lot better than they already are. But overall, great paint applications. As far as detail goes for this figure, he's your basic average Skeletor. You know, he's got muscle tone throughout his skin for all that detail. Again, the nails down here on his feet, and then you can see like the tendons and stuff running through the foot and everything are very, very well pronounced. Look really, really good. I just think these toenails need a dash of black. Same thing for his fingernails on his hands, but still very nicely sculpted. You get all the finger and knuckles worked into the sculpt there. Look really good. Again, head sculpt, very unique, very cool looking, especially with that beard. I do like his battle helmet here. Looks very, very nice all the way around. Rest of his armor, you have that basic Skeletor armor. You know, you got these straps and flaps that hang over his shoulders. You got the crossbones here with the gem. You have this, you know, bat dragon symbol that goes around his neck of his collar. You have what down here seems to be either a bat or like a cat face, maybe for Panther. Hard to say. You know, you got all these straps down here. His ankle armors, shin guards, whatever you want to call them. Very, very nice. Very, very nice and good looking all the way around. Even for this armor piece here, very nicely detailed and, you know, design etched in there to the chest plate and everything. And then you just have a very nice black cloth cape with some cuts in it here and there to give it some detail. It's not the best looking cape, but it is neat to have a black cape versus the traditional kind of purple. I will say that much. Moving on next to articulation on this guy. So articulation on this guy is very standard to the Masterverse line. Okay, his head can look up so far. It can look down so far. You can look left, right. You can get a little bit of tilt action out of it. Not much, but a little bit. Arms at the shoulders can kick out, can go down, can move forward, can move backward. You could rotate those all the way around if you want to. Just be mindful of all of these straps, but they are pliable, so they won't really get in the way. He does have a joint there at the bicep, so you can swivel those biceps. Double jointed elbows, so you get really, really nice bends out of the elbows, even though this one doesn't really want to bend, but you get a little bit of that bend there out of those double jointed elbows. So that's very nice. At the wrists, you can rotate and they are on a hinge. So you get a nice range of movement in the arms. Again, mine has a very loose ab crunch. You can tilt that side to side, and then he does have a waist joint that you can turn side to side. Legs can kick forward at the waist ever so far. This armor and flaps are all like one piece, even though it's pliable. It does get very thick, so he can kick forward that far. He can kick backward ever so far. He does have a swivel cut here at the thigh, so you got those thigh cuts there. Double jointed knees, very, very nice bend out of them for sure. He does have boot cuts, or, you know, shin guard cuts, whatever you want to call those cuts, so you can rotate those down here. And then for his ankles, they are on a hinge, so you can tilt them down, you can tilt them up ever so far, and they do pivot and rotate ever so much. So very, very good articulation on this guy. Again, pretty standard for the Masterverse line. Nothing new, nothing really crazy. But let's go ahead and take a look at his accessories. So again, he has this armor piece with this cape, cloth cape attached. You know, I'm sure Nick Adams from Over the Monster Report, Nick Adam Polling, he's going to be like, no capes in the comment section, I'm pretty sure. Other than that, instead of the power sword that he would usually come with, Skeletor comes with like a Shimtar type sword, and it is very, very nicely painted. You got a very nice silver here for the blade, and then the handle itself is a very nice kind of bronze brass color with some nice detailings on it. Very, very cool. The Shimtar itself has like some pitting detail here and there on both sides, just to give it a little bit more characteristic. It does fit in his hand very, very well. He does hold on to it very well. And I want to say, by the looks of this Skeletor, he's only really able to hold one weapon at a time, but my Skeletor always has to be dual wielding the Havoc Staff and a sword, if possible. If he totally can't, it is what it is, but I do like my Skeletor to have Havoc Staff and sword capabilities for dual wielding. That's pretty much just how I like to pose my Skeletors. And I do like that he comes with a Shimtar. It makes him stand out a little bit more. But like I said, getting him to stand is such a challenge. Like, I am just having the hardest time right now, just like, dude, just stand. Just stand. And he doesn't want to. He wants to either lean back or lean forward. This guy does not have the best stance when it comes to posing him. So that is really a big flaw on this guy. Again, I don't know if it's just mine. I don't know if I'm doing something wrong, but it's like his legs now are in like a very weird bow-legged. Like, that looks very strange to me. It doesn't look that bad on camera, but in reality, it don't look that great. And I don't like it. But he does come with the Shimtar. Here is his Havoc Staff that he comes with. He does come with a Havoc Staff. A very different looking Havoc Staff. I like the look of this Havoc Staff. The look and the detail is very, very nice. Very menacing. It is very flat though. It is all one color. This is something else that will benefit to a little bit of dry brushing here and there. But and then I just noticed that this on top of the Havoc Staff, these are two pieces. This here, if my camera will focus, is two separate pieces. So let me just show you guys. I just noticed this for the first time. And it doesn't unscrew. I'm really not sure if it pops out. I really don't want to test it on camera. But just so you guys know that this Havoc Staff is not one solid piece. These are two pieces. But again, even if he's choking up on the Havoc Staff quite a ways, like all the way he can be, he still does not stand very well at all. The Havoc Staff now will help with some balancing issues. As you can see, boom, just like that, he decides when he's fine to stand and when he's not. But still, it won't solve everything for you. As you can see, I just try to fix his legs a little bit to where he's not as like bow-legged looking. And see, then he wants to lean forward. And then you want the Havoc Staff to look good. There, nope, he's wanting to fall back. Skeletor, I like you a lot. Man, you are starting to become the worst Skeletor I've ever owned. There we go. Best I can do. Anyways, I'm sure he'll... Again, once you get him in a spot, you gotta leave him there. Otherwise, he's gonna be all over the place. Wow, this is turning into a long figure review, that is for sure. Anyway, back onto his last accessory. Here's the head sculpt I was telling you all about. Check this out. I really, really like this head sculpt. Again, it's a very classic type Skeletor, but man, it looks nice. But I do like the battle helmet, and I'm becoming partial to the beard. I think it's really cool, it's really interesting, and I think it just adds that little bit more to this guy. So anyway, you guys, without further ado, this is my review on the new Eternia Skeletor. Where's the box? I guess we'll just get that in there for this final shot. So without further ado, you guys, we are Godzilla Fan Freaks. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Don't forget to like and follow Godzilla Fan Freaks over on Facebook, and then don't forget to follow Godzilla Fan Freaks on Instagram. That's the way you stay up to date with everything going on and all that good fun stuff. So without further ado, you guys, we are Godzilla Fan Freaks. Hope you enjoyed this Skeletor new Eternia figure review from the Masterverse line, and we will see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.